All right, we're here. We've been talking about this for a while. We finally got together. Julie Maulding, right?
Yep.
All right. And we're going to do two. We're going to do the very first one. But real quick, I'll let you introduce everybody.
Okay. This is my mom, Beverly Lynch Vavac. Hi.
Hello.
This is my daughter, Lydia.
Lydia, you're so pretty.
And this is my dad, Alan Maulding.
Alan, great to meet you. I don't know if we've ever met.
Probably not.
Okay, I don't think so.
And then my son, Dorian.
Dorian.
Yep.
And Dorian is like gotten really, really big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really big.
Actually, he just had his endocrinologist appointment yesterday.
Okay.
And everything. And the blood draw. And and he did it all by himself. Didn't even hold anybody's hand or nothing.
Really? All right.
Yep. And
like a big third grader.
Like a big third grader. Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, I mean, believe me, when adults have blood taken, sometimes they get a little messed up. So.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he's starting to get back on track and finally starting to get on the growth chart.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
yeah. He's getting there.
Looks good to me.
Yep. Yep.
So you got a story to tell. And I don't know how long ago it was that we met. 10 years ago? 8 years ago?
About.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it was mainly through Shauna.
Yeah, that was about, that was about 8 years ago.
About 8 years ago?
It was right after he was born.
Yeah. Yeah. So, having a business, everybody came into the store. So I got to see people for a few minutes, and then I always kind of hung out on Main Street. And then Shauna came in and was just kind of like this huge whirlwind and just brought in a whole bunch of new people. And I'm always have been into art and music and stuff. So that's kind of where we met and would see each other on the street and in the store and just different places doing different things. And then the kids come along and everything else. And life was going pretty good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
breast cancer.
So what made you get checked? Was it just a regular mammogram?
No, I am not quite 40 yet. I have a few months still.
Okay.
It was actually Christmas Day of 2020.
Christmas Day of 2020.
Right. I had to go out with a bang because of 2020.
Yeah.
The kids had just opened their Christmas presents.
All right.
I went outside to walk the dog and had an itch and scratched and felt a lump.
A lump. No big deal.
Yep.
No big deal. Just a little lump.
Just a lump.
But you didn't notice it
never
taking showers or anything else?
Nope. It was, I never noticed it. It was never there. And all of a sudden it just was.
Okay. So I'm thinking Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Deductibles. Did you go to the doctor right now? Do you wait till January?
Well, luckily I had Medicaid, so I was able to, not go too much into debt.
Okay.
With everything.
All right, but still, Christmas Day, so you call and try to get an appointment.
Actually, I came inside immediately and had my their dad check, and he felt one too. So I immediately got online and made an appointment for that week, and then we felt one, and I had to fight to get a mammogram and ultrasound because I'm not 40.
Right, because they're going to have a protocol, and here's the box that people fit in, and if you're too old or too young.
Yeah, they guaranteed it was just a cyst, and it wasn't.
So then you get the biopsy.
And she said, I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's cancer without, sending the labs off or anything.
Really?
Yeah, so I kind of...
That's pretty bold.
Yeah, so it's like panic attack in the parking lot.
So who was with you when they tell you?
I was mainly by myself. Because it was COVID.
Yeah.
So my partner my ex had to wait out in the parking lot, or the lobby, so I had to go in there and do everything by myself and no support or anything.
Yeah, but I mean, because the COVID, we're learning to live with it. I mean, it's still there.
Yeah.
But at that time, you one person in the doctor's office at a time and all that.
Yeah.
Everything else
But,
that you
yeah.
go through. And it's still kind of like that at the doctor's office.
Oh yeah.
But to have somebody tell you that you have cancer, you kind of need somebody really close right now.
Yes.
that you can
Yeah,
touch
and the way she was so
hold.
nonchalant about everything was not very personable. So, but we didn't have the results or anything yet, so we didn't know.
So you're hoping she's wrong.
Yes, fingers, eyes, nose, everything crossed.
Yeah.
But I made an appointment with a breast surgeon because either way the lump had to come out.
Right.
So
right.
that's
This is the protocol again. We found it. It's got to go.
so I was definitely switching hospitals after everything that would happen at that one.
Right.
So she was able to call and get a preliminary report that following Monday after my biopsy,
Okay.
and it was positive.
And then it turned out the mean person was right.
Yes,
Yeah.
They found 2 more in the mammogram, but in the ultrasound, so those 2 were negative.
Really?
But the one that I found was positive.
So would the 2 that were negative eventually become positive if you?
They were just benign.
That's just
Yeah,
the
they
way
were
it
just
was.
yeah.
Okay, so it was 1. How big was it?
About the size of a small grape.
Okay.
So
No big deal?
1.8 centimeters.
Okay. I don't know why they
So-
do that in the medical. They're supposed to do feet and inches.
Yeah.
Somebody in the United
So,
States has a,
But so
I mean,
it was stage 1.
Stage 1, great.
And it was hormone positive.
Don't know what that means.
So it means that it wasn't familial. It wasn't anything like that. So
Okay.
it was basically my hormones produced it.
Okay. But stage 1 lump, no big deal. Get it taken out, go on with life, right?
Yeah, you would think.
Because it's stage 1.
Right. So, but, I mean, it's so different for so many different people. But since it was placing, it was in my lymph node. They found 1.5 millimeters in one lymph node. So that meant chemo.
Changes everything.
Chemo.
That's why you lost all your hair.
Yes.
So I'm going to digress just for a moment because you posted lots of videos on Facebook.
I did.
And I was somebody that I consider ourselves friends, and I never reached out either. I don't know what to say to people. And again, we had all the people come to the store when my dad had cancer, and I just chalk it up to, like, I'm the guy that always says the wrong thing at a funeral, you know? So I now go to funerals, and I just do my very best not to say anything because I'm going to beat myself up afterwards. And just like the person that you talked to that was insensitive, that's not me. I don't mean to be that way, but then I end up beating myself up, and I know a whole bunch of people that are watching this that didn't reach out because, you know, what anyway, I'm making an excuse so that I don't have to make an excuse the next time it happens to somebody that I know.
Yeah.
Right? Because you were very lonely, and you were very scared.
Yes.
Because, and that's still, we're still in the beginning parts now, where we're just talking about having chemotherapy, which is scary.
And
so you had the chemotherapy. How many chemos did you have?
I had 16 cycles over 20 weeks.
Okay, and how long did it take for your hair to fall out?
After the second cycle.
So correct me if I'm wrong, lots of people are on chemo. Some people are on chemo every day for the rest of their life. They never lose their hair. They're getting a very, very mild dose.
Yeah.
When your hair falls out, you're getting the real stuff.
I can't remember it's nicknamed the Red Devil.
So the Red Devil, and for everybody that's watching this that had the Red Devil, they don't call it the Red Devil because it's a cute name to name something.
No, it's pure torture.
Yeah, I think Red Devil. I mean, a buddy of mine I was talking to the other day that had the Red Devil, and his eyes would bleed, and he'd wake up glued to the bed from his.
So I had my hair turned into fire. Like I went ahead and I got my port surgery.
Yes.
And the port is where they do the chemo, so they won't shred up my veins. It's a little gizzy that goes into my collarbone, and then there's a tube going into my aorta.
Okay. Oh, really? So when they give you chemo, it goes right into the aorta.
Yeah. So there's my scar.
Okay.
So it's sewn in. So they just do the same spot all the time instead of shredding up my veins.
Yeah.
But they had me eat ice while they were pushing the chemo, so my mouth wouldn't blister.
Yep.
Um,
And it's COVID, so people aren't there probably holding your hand.
nope. The only reason my mom got to be there is because she works in the cancer center.
At St. Clair's.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that, I mean, there is some kind of a silver lining. It might not be a
Yes.
very big silver lining, but you can aim at the mom. But you deal with cancer patients all the time.
25 years now.
25 years. So I mentioned a little earlier that I'm an amateur oncologist. 25 years, you've seen everything.
I've seen a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's, I work behind a desk.
Uh-huh.
I'm one of the first people patients see as soon as they walk in, but I'm not doing any of the clinical stuff.
Right.
But, we got her to come to my hospital, see the surgeon, and one of the things, they got her in immediately, started everything as soon as they could. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, but being a mom
Changes
and
it.
on the other side of it,
Yes.
it can get, sometimes you just know a little too much you don't want to know.
Well, and
So,
yeah,
mhm.
absolutely.
But if I wasn't working there, I wouldn't have been able to be there with her.
Right.
A lot of people asked me if I was going to take some time off to be with her, and I said no. If I do that, I can't be with her.
Right. Yeah.
So I
But-
knew she was in good hands.
Well, yes, but working there and
And I knew a lot
that
of
that
people,
was a huge
yeah.
silver lining.
Oh, yes.
I
And
think that was huge, and I didn't know that until the other day when
Yeah.
we talked.
But I used to work at St. Joe's too in radiology when she was working in St. Clair too. So I would cover
So this is
and
the
St.
old
Joe's.
St. Joe's in
And Kirkwood.
Kirkwood.
Mm-hmm.
So she was working cancer care there.
Okay.
So I knew a lot of the people, some of the people from there
Right.
too.
Right.
So
It's a family thing. I worked at
Yeah.
SSM also.
Really?
yeah, that's how they met.
That's
Okay.
how we met.
I met her the first day that I worked at St. Joe's.
Oh, okay. So I have to digress. I was born at St.
Me
Joe's.
too.
And then my son was born at St. Joe's right
Yeah.
before they moved into St. Clair's. So that was
Ah.
25 years ago, 28
Yeah.
years ago. It's been
all
that
three
long.
of my kids were born there.
Yeah, yeah. Love the old St. Joe's. Love the new St. Clair. It's like a resort when you walk in there.
Yeah.
I was
Oh, yeah.
the first employee at St. Clair.
Really?
I worked there during the construction.
Okay. So you guys have got you kind of know what happens, whenever you go in the hospitals and stuff and everything else. You're comfortable because it's where everybody's at.
Yes.
So that worked out real good. So you had all that chemo, you lost all the hair. Then what happens?
I opted to have a bilateral mastectomy.
So that was your decision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I could have gone straight to radiation,
Okay.
but I needed definitive answers, like yes or no, is it all gone?
Right.
And for precaution for reoccurrence.
Yes.
So I opted for the bilateral mastectomy.
And yours was a little different than a lot of women's because a lot of women's it's kind of like all gone.
Yeah.
And there's no sensitivities or anything else.
So they went ahead and did the reconstruction at the same time, but they did the pathology, and they found more. They found 0.5 millimeters in my right breast, and then 0.3 millimeters in another lymph node.
Okay. And that stuff didn't show up in the mammograms?
And nope, because they were too small to see, so they would show up as
Too
no
deep.
evidence detected.
It was too deep, too small,
Mm-hmm.
too new, all that other stuff. So if
In
you
fact, it took almost 2 weeks to get the final pathology report because luckily the pathologist went digging because of her history.
He was very thorough.
He was very thorough.
wow,
So yes,
which is lucky,
yeah. So I ended up needing almost 7 weeks of radiation after that.
So then you got to have the radiation. 7 weeks. That's Monday through Friday.
Every day for about 15-20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And just my chest, I had to wear a special breastplate to kind of as an extra layer of protection. I still ended up with second-degree burns.
Yeah.
My skin was turning black and charred. And
Yeah.
falling
No,
off.
they're cooking you.
Yeah.
Well, the chemo cooks you one way, the other cooks you the other way because it just kills everything, and then the good, your body should be healthy enough that kind of takes care of itself. That's kind of how all
Everybody
that cancer
reacts
stuff works.
differently, but
Yeah,
I reacted with the burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the fatigue and the burns and the chemo. Like the last 12 weeks of chemo or the last 12 cycles of chemo was weekly, and that's where it hit me the hardest with that. Like, but I would prefer chemo over radiation any day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
Everybody's like, "Oh, radiation's easy." I'm like, "Nope, it got me good."
So December 2020. So we're right there at 2021.
Yep.
You have all the biopsies. You do the You do the chemotherapy. Then you do the radiation. No, you do the chemotherapy. Then you have the mastectomy, the reconstruction. Then you do the chemotherapy or the radiation. And now we're done.
No, we're not. So I was also getting, during all of this too, since it was all hormonal, they threw me into early menopause. So I was getting a shot once a month to make me, stop everything.
Stop having menopause, or
No,
to
to
keep you going into menopause?
to keep me in menopause.
Okay.
I ended up.
Lydia, you're awesome. I just think you're so cute. And both of you guys are just so good. It's unbelievable. So,
But we're going to let you talk here in a minute.
So after all of that, they thought a full hysterectomy would be a good idea.
And how old are you? We're 38?
I'm 39.
39. Okay. So realistically, yeah. But when it's you, when it's everybody else is 39, no big deal.
So.
Who wants to have kids at 39, 40, 41 anyway?
Oh,
but when it's you.
I was ready to have more kids. That's all I wanted was more babies. So this was very hard.
Yeah.
So they did the full hysterectomy May 4th on, Star Wars Day.
May 4th, 2022.
I've already been.
So now we're a year and a half of all this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So full hysterectomy. That went okay.
Right. Well, that was May, and this is August 2nd or 3rd. So.
Yep. Then since the radiation kind of fried everything, so they needed to do a little fixing up here. So they did a fat grafting.
Okay.
So they went through my hysterectomy scars.
Yeah.
And sucked out some, my love handles and my hips, and kind of like fixed the ridges and dimples and everything like that.
Right.
So that was late June.
Okay.
The 28th or 27th.
Okay. So late June, this is August, you're still really sore.
No, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
4th of July, there was a complication from the hysterectomy.
Well, all the complications occur on a holiday or on a Saturday or Sunday. Nothing happens on a Tuesday afternoon.
The busy fun stuff.
Yeah.
So, but basically my tissue they were assuming from chemo, my doctor has never seen anything like this happen in her 20 plus years.
Oh.
But basically my stitches didn't hold and I had a prolapse. And if my bowels would have perforated, which they were close, she said I probably would have had a very painful death in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So this was 4th of July. And they went through my history.
This 4th of July.
Yes.
So, and then they went through the original scars.
Yes, the same hysterectomy scars. So
Yeah.
the same ones again. So
Yeah.
the ones that were just healing from 2 weeks before that.
Not healed in 2
No.
weeks.
No. So they cut those open again. So far that's the last of it, I think.
Hopefully.
I think it's only 6.
So 6 surgeries, 20 weeks of chemo, 6 months of shots, and 7 rounds of radiation.
And a year and a half of sleep deprivation.
Not to
a year
mention
and a half
all
of,
the side effects from everything.
all the side effects.
So
the chemo, all the side. Because I know tons of people have gone through chemotherapy. I know tons of people have gone through radiation. Getting up that every morning. My sister-in-law who will watch this, she has breast cancer and she's doing the radiation now. And you and I had talked, and we'll talk again in just a second about their silver linings. It's just a weight. It's like I'm wearing a suit coat, but it's like a suit coat made out of lead.
I had it was like a plastic. They had a plastic sheet. And they were able to mold it to my body.
Right.
So
Right.
That's what I
For
had
the
for the radiation.
I'm just talking about the weight on all the stress.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I'm like they
and
don't.
two beautiful little kids.
And I became a single mom during all of this too. I lost
and you
my
got
job.
an employee.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing
It's
with
like
you
just-
because that's all
Well,
you
at
can
this
do in
point,
life.
like I mean, there's so many people that just kind of curl up and give up. And
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. So, but I've got
Absolutely.
these two guys, and
Well,
I'm too stubborn to sit down.
but you have that. We both have a very aloof personality.
We do.
And some I went around for a couple years where I was just mad at everything, and one of my buddies took me aside. He's like, "Why are you mad all the time?" I'm mad at this, and they're like, "Yeah, those are really great reasons to be mad, but you need to laugh at it because it's just stupid stuff and stuff that's out of your control. And if you laugh at it, physiologically, your body reacts to it differently as opposed to just the anger. And you just sit there and start laughing at all the stupid stuff
Right.
that happens, and then you figure what's next. And anyway, so you laugh at it. You did have a lot of fun.
With the wigs.
Post and oh my goodness, I don't even know where you got those wigs. I guess
Amazon.
Amazon. That's what I was going to say. 'Cause they have
So
all the
I had
different
a few
colors.
donated too, but it's just like amazing how many people like just stepped up with everything too. Just like complete random strangers reaching out and.
So isn't that weird about the random strangers as opposed to the people you've known your whole life?
Yeah, it's a little kind of disheartening too, but
It's predictable.
Oh yeah, totally. Like like the people that were supposed to be there for me weren't.
Right.
But I've made so many new friends.
Yeah.
And just other breast cancer survivors or other cancer survivors or just from like random Facebook groups of people
Right.
just like reaching out and just
Right.
offering their services or help or just like little things here and there.
Yeah. And we did talk briefly about you sharing your story and then other people getting checked.
Yes.
And again, this is the past year and a half.
Yes.
And in a year and a half, what's happened to them?
They've gotten, like, there have been a few that actually found, not necessarily just cancer, but there was people who found other issues that needed to be addressed too because they went and got checked.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I'm vocal about everything too, is because, I was 38 years old when I found this, so
Right.
I mean, it's not something I thought about. I have two small kids,
Right.
whatever, but I'm amazed at how many people are just, they find something and just ignore it.
Well, early detection is the key,
Mm-hmm.
period. In
Exactly.
any of it, and you work in the office.
That's
why
what I
we-
think they're trying to pass a law, whatever, to lower the mammogram screening age from
Right.
40 down lower because we are seeing so many younger ones coming in.
And actually, when I was there doing it, there was a lot of the ladies that I'm still close with,
Right.
are closer to my age, and have young children, and
Met in the waiting room. Or
Met in the waiting room.
Yeah.
I know. I just bounced at like all kinds of people at the hospital and just kind of.
Well, it is a club. When you walk in,
yeah.
it's like a biker bar, but instead of everybody with their motorcycles parked
We all have the same
outside,
haircut.
everybody has yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we end up like comparing notes and like traumas and side effects. We're like, is this hitting you? And just like what do you find that works best for you? And
Right.
So
Well, and when it comes to cancer, I mean, I'm familiar with mammograms, although as a guy, we don't get mammograms. But we do?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, dear Lord.
Prostate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the prostate and the testicular cancer.
Mhm.
If you've got it, believe me,
No,
they can
any
get
kind
cancer.
of, because when I worked in radiology, so I had
Really?
I was doing clerical stuff too, but so we would have men get mammograms all the time.
I do think mammogram is like in the top 10 causes of men dying of cancer is the breast cancer for men,
Well, there are quite a few.
which surprised me that it was that high.
Yeah.
But the prostate cancer for most guys is nobody wants that test, or very few people I know want to go in and have that test, and they develop the PSA test, and you know, all these other things, and then you got the testicular stuff, and then, you know, it's just like, I don't know, it's just not real comfortable. And that's why it goes to stage 2, 3, 4, whatever. So when you said you had stage 1, I'm like, eh. And then when you hear it goes to the lymph nodes, it's like, okay, wait a second, because then did they do like the bone marrow test?
No.
No, they didn't do all. So
yeah, because it was just a little cancer.
yeah.
So no, I think it was 3 millimeters the first time.
Yeah.
And then 0.5 the second time, the second lymph node.
It's small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my dad's was stage 4,
Mm-hmm.
and which way after he had cancer, people came into the store for the next 15 years, just or 20 years, just because he was still alive, and they just wanted to be around somebody that had stage 4 cancer and made it out.
Yeah.
And then, you know, subsequently, I know just tons of people that had stage 1, 2, 3, 4 that have done very well. And like I say, 15, 20 years, everything's, what is it? After like 8 or 9 years, the statistical probabilities of it coming back just goes way, way down.
It goes way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not completely gone,
But
but it's way down.
And, you know, trying not to.
Depends on the type of cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything
My
like this.
father
and
died
that's-
of lung cancer.
Yeah. Now, because I got a friend of mine's got lung cancer and it was non-smoking. There's some sort of a term for somebody that didn't smoke, that wasn't around automotive paints and stuff like that. Again, you hear the stories. You got people you know and love that have it, but whenever it's you, it's just things change.
Yeah, there's like I don't even like I have PTSD from this. I have depression. There's days I just like lay in bed but I mean, I do miss the steroids from chemo because my house was never cleaner.
It's dirtier.
I know now.
Yeah.
I've been on since all my surgeries. I've been on like an 8 to 15 pound weight restriction for the past several months, so I can't do much of anything.
No, the naps, the waves of despair that hit you from out of nowhere.
Yeah, the pain.
Yeah, and you know, it's just such a huge part of it, all of our lives, where we know people that do it. And I got involved in, you know, different cancer walks and motorcycle rides and on and on and on as an outsider. You know, so you being on the inside and seeing all this stuff, it just changes your perspective. And not that you weren't an awesome person to begin with, but every single person I know that's had cancer and has gone through it, they come out as a better, more compassionate, more caring, less judgmental person than they were before. And that's another one of the silver linings. So for all of Julie's friends and relatives and family and everybody that knows her, and that did not reach out and that did reach out, we'll be better next time.
Hopefully there's not a next time.
Not with you. Not with you. We'll be better next time whenever it's somebody else.
So
get a mammogram, get checked. If you're a dude, get the PSA test and all that other stuff, because early detection is definitely the key. And you can't get a mammogram once a decade. You got to do it every year.
Every year.
And nobody wants to do it.
Or at least do breast exams in the shower or something. If you don't know how to do it, reach out.
I'm sure there's a YouTube video on it.
Yeah, there are.
For everything else.
So I've become excellent at giving. I've other people who've had cancer or chemo or something, or they are just starting their diagnosis or whatever, have reached out. I've had several friends of relatives reach out. And asking tips for chemo and stuff like that. So I've been helping several women and a few men with.
And it doesn't stop. Now that you've been through it, the people are going to ask you the question for forever. You know, it's just the way that it goes.
So luckily, this is embedded into my brain, so I'm able to
being a human being, stuff goes away. And I always like to compare women having a baby, and while they're going through labor, we're never doing this again. Stay away, everything else. And then literally they hand you the baby, and
forget
all of that
everything.
went away within just a couple of
Just- yeah.
seconds. And everything else. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you. You're an inspiration.
welcome.
You're a hero. And I know you felt alone, and I think that you did have a lot of love around you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people cared, and sometimes you got to keep that circle really tight,
Yeah.
because ultimately that's all that really matters.
This little one right here, he bosses me around.
There we go.
And, well,
You agree? He's
Yeah.
the bossy one of the family?
He's very protective.
he's very
of her.
protective of me.
Oh, okay, so you're the gatekeeper now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if I try and pick up a load of laundry or something, he's the
He's-
first one, like, nope.
That's my job.
Yep, he'll push it into here for me or something.
Yeah.
So we've been learning how to do some more chores around the house.
Yeah. Well, say something nice and press share, and thank you very much.